Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early February 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Saggies. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My God, Spirit Team, talk to me. What do we got for Saggy Gang in early February, please and thank you. What is the vibe? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Saggy, please. What is the vibe? What is the energy swirling around our good friends here in early February? Let's get this card out nice and quick. What do we got? There it is. Thank you. All right, there's a lot going on in this card. Now, normally I default to saying like, yeah, this is a very creative, artistic type of energy, which is true. But the feeling it's giving me right here is like, oh, there's a lot happening. There's a lot going on here. And we'll get into that further. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards then. So you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So yeah, what seems like it might be simple on the surface does have a lot of depth when we peel back the layers. We have this art model. We see this Adam and Eve type of sculpture going on here, which can represent temptation. We have all sorts of different sort of creative outlets happening. So of course, that first message I said, for a lot of Saggies, the creative juices might be flowing, or if you're going through any sort of difficulties, Spirit might be wanting you to express yourself and put this energy out there. Been seeing that for the other fire signs recently as well. So this is a great card for that. But at the same time, I can't let go of this intuitive vibe I'm picking up where it's like, there's a lot happening here. Or whether it's like things are happening quick, things are happening fast, or it's just very, very rapid. Now, for a small portion of you, maybe you're just extra sensitive to the energies of those around you, and you're just feeling things intensely. That's another thing I've been picking up for fire signs in recent weeks. But at the same time, this also feels busy, 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 busy. So whether it's like complex situations or just a lot of energies affecting you in really big ways, it just feels like a lot. Okay, so hopefully you're not feeling overwhelmed by it, but we're just going to leave it right here for now. We're going to see how that shows up within the reading itself, but yeah, put her over there. Let's get into tarot. And I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Saggies. What do we got for Saggy Gang, please? Guides. And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it does seem like in the past month, like change and shifting energy has been the name of the game, because I've been seeing it for like every other week. But last week's reading was titled A Massive Twist. So for a lot of you, whether it's like a little twist of fate or there's something where like, oh yeah, that seems predictable. And then like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that little twist. So whether it is things changing or just a little added flavor to situations, that's just what was showing up last week, and that could really linger for a little bit. But we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for my Saggies. Let's see what type of vibe we have this week. And there's been karmic energies for like a few weeks as well. So it does feel like a lot now that I think about it. I think about that other card, just a lot of things shifting. Okay, we got the Queen of Cups, position number 1, huh? Okay, that's a very intriguing card to start off with. Very, very emotional, and that could tie into exactly what we're seeing. And I will say this, for all the fire signs, it's like the water sign court cards have been showing up for Aries, Leo, and Sag now. What do we got? Okay, 9 of Wands. Okay, that energy is peculiar. This is somebody either keeping something under wraps or just minding their own business. Like this is a very private type of energy here. Let's get one more. Okay. 2 of Wands. Yeah, it's like it's building a wall back here. Okay, we are most definitely going to have to discuss this because I feel like there's a lot going on underneath the surface. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I do feel like there's a certain refrained or restrained type of energy I'm picking up here this week. Now, elementally, I feel like this is very supportive for Sagittarius because obviously you're a fire sign. We have double fire here on the back end with the 9 of Wands, the 2 of Wands. That's one of our comfort elements. And as a fire sign myself, this is what we work with well. Usually these are cards and energies of action and movement. Notice that these are planted. And it's like they have erected a wall or a barrier of some sort. So whether you're just minding your own business, doing your own thing, staying within your own four walls or your own lane, that could be very possible. But especially with this Queen of Cups, like the intensity, the depth, but she can also be very hush hush. So there's something here that is, it's either not being discussed or it's just very protective. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out, because we're going to have to dig for the detail here. Position number one, the Queen of Cups. Now, for a portion of you, you might be connected to a water sign. Remember, it's not gender specific. And I always say when it comes to queens, they represent the internal aspects of their suit. So cups, that's the realm of love, emotion, romance, general feeling. It's highly intuitive, empathetic type of energy as well. It's the realm of creativity. So remember, I was saying, I feel like there's a lot going on. Same could be said here. So just know that you might be extra emotional, feeling lots of different things. Your energies could be a little up and down when she shows up. Now, usually she is a strong card of nurturing and love. We love when she shows up in a reading because it's genuine care. It's pure. But at the same time, she does have a downside. Every card does have a downside. The Queen of Cups could be very secretive, especially if there's something that's bothering her. So it's like, there's something bugging me, there's something bothering me, but I'm not addressing it for whatever reason. So for some Saggies, maybe that's you. If there's something that's like really bugging you or really messing with you and you're not really wanting to talk about it, not wanting to address it for whatever reason. She can also represent suppression. Emotional suppression, and there's something that could be bothering her. And I always say, like, the risk that you run with the Queen of Cups is that sometimes she can represent emotions like exploding or overflowing if she suppresses it too much. Now, moving into the center, it doesn't open up quite yet because we have the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior, chilling right here. And I mean, you don't have to be much of an expert to understand the type of vibe we're looking at here. We have this person, they got the bandage on their head. They're standing up against the wall. This could represent somebody that's been through quite a few things and they don't want to go through them again. So when I see the Queen of Cups, when I see him, and even the Two of Wands, it's like, all right, I don't want to go through something again, or I've been through a few things and I'm on watch. This is a very skeptical type of card. So hopefully there's not a situation that has you on guard, because that could very much be the case. Now, the positives of this, it could just be territorial. It could be someone that's protective of the things and the people that they love. The Nine of Wands generally is a very private type of energy. There's nothing wrong with that. So for some Saggies, maybe you are just doing your own thing, staying in your own lane, minding your own business. That could very much be the case with all these energies on the good sense. But when it comes to the challenge of the Nine of Wands, it's either rejecting things, putting up barriers. It could represent problems. So we'll see. Like, initially when I see the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Wands, it's like, all right, I'm rejecting something, but I'm not giving the reason why. So moving to the back end, we have the Two of Wands. This is someone that's in a holding position. Notice he's just sitting there and he's kind of mulling something over, thinking about it. So whether you're dealing with an individual that just needs a little time to think, maybe you need a little time to think and consider something, that could very much be the case. I don't want to get too intuitive off of this just yet, but notice the two wands are standing. So it's like, we still have a little bit of a wall here, but it's not as impenetrable on this side. So whether that's two people that are a little skeptical or just watching out for something, that could very much be the case. Now, I always say with all twos, they represent decisions, choices, being at a crossroads in life. Do I go left? Do I go right? Two of Wands can also represent strategy and planning. So whenever I see this, I think of either needing to strategize something or someone who is in the planning mode. So when we see the Queen of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Two of Wands, it's like, all right, so they're planning something. They're not really letting out their plans, though, for whatever reason. But I think the Two of Wands is usually good. It could also represent distance, travel, stuff like that. So we have a lot happening here, Saggy. I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Saggy, please? What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Queen of Cups. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Saggy, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Queen of Cups. Why is she here, please? Oh, okay. Yeah, just like I said, I'm keeping it to myself. We have the Four of Pentacles. These are really, really deep, really strong feelings. Okay, that's a big thing with the Four of Pentacles. Now, if we are talking monetary things, this is really good. I will say for some Saggies, as a little side note, just to get away from all this other stuff, when I see the Queen of Cups, Four of Pentacles, amazing time for investments. It's an amazing time to save up money and stack money. Like there's just something here in the front end about like letting your assets and your money grow. So keep that in mind. That's a little side message. But if we're talking emotions, we're talking the whole other side of the street, because the Queen of Cups, Four of Pentacles, it is like, I am not saying a damn thing. I'm not speaking. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not sharing my emotions. Now, for some of you, this could represent having strong feelings for someone or something and not letting them go. This could also represent someone in the positive sense. They still have really strong potential feelings about something. Where it's like, all right, no, my emotions are still the same, unchanged. It is what it is. So that could be a good thing, depending. But at the same time, it's just not letting some, in the worst case, it could be someone that's a little grudgy. I don't want to go there yet because we still have a lot more to go. But the Four of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, it's someone like you may have stepped on their toes and they're feeling a little grudgy too. So many different energies coming through. So great for finances, not so great for the emotional things. And it's also someone that's just very quiet. Best case scenario, though, it could just be someone that they still feel the same. That's just how it's shown to me. So let's keep moving. And the energy doesn't feel like it's opening up. So that might be frustrating to you, like the Queen of Cups or Pentacles. It's like, no, I'm not opening up. Don't want to talk about it. So let's see what the Nine of Wands has. Really want to get over to this strategy and planning as well. But why is the 9 here? What's the 9 of Wands here, please? Thank you. Yeah, someone is super, super guarded. So we do have another Queen of Swords in the upright. This is someone that is so, so on edge. Now, this can also be a rejection of some sort, okay? With her, I mean, she's like got her back turned to something, and then we have the 9 of Wands for a portion of you. And I will say this, it doesn't always have to be a person. This could represent a behavior, could represent a habit. It could represent a way of thinking or a way of being. There could be something, either this person is hyper on guard and alert about something where it's like, oh no, I'm watching everything. Or there is something that is being rejected where it's like, all right, well, even if it does come, I got my guard up. Even if it does come, no one's getting past this wall. Okay, so I would say now might not be the best time to try to move things forward. You might want to let something settle a little bit or just let it evolve how it needs to. Now is not the time to try to force things. I feel like it's an energy where you just need to let it be. I don't know why that's coming through. I'm giving it to you how that shows. Now, the Queen of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and it doesn't have to be gender specific. She is straightforward, no nonsense, very honest. But what can she also do? She can cut things away. She can cut things off. Underneath this 9 Wands, there is an energy of rejection. So I feel like if you do try to do something a little too much or you do try a little too hard, you might get a lot of issues and run into a lot of roadblocks. There's something here that Spirit's saying, like, listen, you just need to let it be what it is. Like, you need to just let it evolve how it needs to. There's no forcing something. Okay, either that or there's a rejection of some sort. And another thing I do have to say, with the Queen of Swords and the 2 Wands, these are two of the most highly strategic cards in the whole entire deck. So like all of this is like interwoven this week. Let's go in on the 2 of Wands. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow card. Lots of stuff happening here. But this does feel a little bit cold. Now, again, some Saggies, you might just be doing your own thing, right? And you have your walls up and it's like, thou shalt not enter. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. But let's see what's up with the 2 of Wands. We'll see if that energy does start to shift and change out a little bit. Why is the 2 of Wands here for Saggy? It's just hyper vigilant in the center. That's the best way I could put it. It's hyper vigilant. Okay, and now here it is. And I feel like this might be something I saw for you a couple weeks ago. It's showing up again. It's like, all right, well, now I'm waiting on this to come back around. It's like, all right, I'll be waiting on you to return, or I'll be waiting on this to flare back up. We have the Death card in reverse. So for some Saggies, it could be a situation where Spirit's saying, all right, well, it's not quite over yet. Or there's something that's not over, don't think it is. Even if it might seem like it is, it's not quite done yet when I see Death in reverse, because this card can represent the close of a cycle, close of an ending. It's usually very karmic. It's big Scorpio energy as well. But notice it didn't show up in the upright. It showed up in reverse. And that is either karmic energy or things returning, popping back up, or something that's not over. So when I see the Two of Wands, whether that's a thought you have, whether that's a thought someone else has, I am seeing this strong plan-based type of energy here. Notice between the two strategic cards, we have the Death card where it's like, no, this isn't over yet. Okay, so you take that for what it's worth. For some of you, that could be a good thing. Some of you, maybe not. But that's just the big vibe I'm picking up here. There is a situation, I think, if you are watching out for it, that might be a good thing. It just feels so complex. It feels like there's so much where it's like, oh, it's not completely over. Either that or someone's planning on reemerging some way, somehow. So let's go through and do a quick recap here. I mean, lots of intensity in this week's energy, lots of different messages. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we started off with the Queen of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. On a financial sense, this is great for investing money, earning new money, saving money, making big purchases, great stuff around that. But in regards to emotions, that's not the best, right? It's either someone that's feeling something and they're not addressing it, they're not speaking about it, they're suppressing it, they're pushing it down. So I'm not sure if you're dealing with a person that fits that vibe. It could also represent someone that feels the same, where it's like, okay, my feelings are unchanged. I still feel the same as I did. That's how that feels to me. Worst case scenario, grudgy. Moving to the center, we do have the Nine of Wands with the Queen of Swords, a rejection-based type of energy. So best case scenario, some of you might just be in your own mode, doing your own thing. Like, all right, I got my walls up, I got my day-to-day routine, I'm doing my thing, and I'm on the lookout for any funky nonsense. That's like the vibe I'm picking up here as well. There's a lot of strategy and planning happening as on top of that. I would say the best case is obviously someone just in their own lane, but I do feel rejection of certain things. So whether it's thought processes, whether it's habits, whether it's people or situations, it's like thou shalt not pass. And I feel like now's not a good time to force things. Like you shouldn't be forcing it, just let it evolve how it needs to. You're going to get a much better result that way. Moving to the back end, we have the Two of Wands with Death in reverse. Something's not over. That's what that tells me. It's like, all right, well, whether you realize it or whether you don't, something hasn't fully completed itself. Whether someone's planning on that or not, like Death in reverse just tells us like there's still more here. So it's an interesting way to end that off, and we do see the energy returning. Okay, so please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's get into the shadows here. I mean, that was a heck of a reading, right? Let's shuffle it up here and see what we got. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a bad thing. They could be good too. So let's get your one. Oh, and if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? What do we got for Saggy? Thank you. Five of Wands. Okay, so this is a little conflicted. Now, for some of you, yeah, there could be certain things, situations where you feel a little emotionally back and forth, emotionally conflicted. Hey, look who we're looking at here with the Queen of Cups pushing things down. Now, the Five of Wands can be very confrontational sometimes, but I'm going to give you the good message about this as well. This could be a shot in the arm from Spirit telling you to not stop fighting, don't give up, keep pushing, which is a great thing, where it's like, all right, you got this, Saggy, just keep it moving, keep it going. That's a very positive message we could get from this because it is so determined. But yes, the challenge, it could be tests and trials and tribulations. It could be very conflicted. So just know in this time, your temper might be a little hotter than normal. Either that or now's just not the time to force things. I saw it in the reading. I'm seeing it again. Do not try to pressure or force things. So yeah, Saggy, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the February subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out the availability and my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could get a little forecast for the next few weeks for you. But for the February subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Tarot of the Owls. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments if you could snap your fingers right now and wish for something. What would it be? It could be anything except more wishes. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.